It's been a minute. I gotta get back. I gotta get back loose. What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back to the Second Chance Success podcast. And I know it's been a minute, bro. I know it's been a minute. There's been a lot going on. Some of the things we're going to address here, some of the things we're still working out, but nonetheless, there was a lot of lessons learned. There was a lot of growth that happened. The journey changed up a little bit, and there were moments where I was like, okay, look, we might have to pause everything right now just to get back on it, right? And that's where I want the focus of this to go, right? This show today, I didn't bring a guest on. There will be guests moving forward, right? I plan on like revamping everything and getting things like, a little more professional looking, going as far as like intros and everything like that. There'll be some dope people coming on, some dope individuals, dope information, right? However, this specific show, I wanted it more personal, man. I wanted to catch up with you guys, let you guys know a little bit of what I've been doing, how things have been going, the valleys, the mountaintops, a little bit of both, and just make sure that that we understand that we're all humans, and no matter what level we're at, where we're going, we all go through shit. We all fall, we all stumble. You know what I mean? But it's about getting up and keep it pushing, right? So that's why I decided today. I'm like, you know what, to bring things back into the light, right? I wanted to do this personally, man, and really chop it up with you guys, So I mean, I think it's been probably a couple months since the last time we filmed anything, had anything going. There's been a lot of things that have been going on the side as far as in like growth and development and making sure things are being pushed forward, right? But really, man, I think that what we have to understand is how to put those pause moments in our lives, right? How to put those pause moments in our lives. One thing I posted something yesterday, and I was talking about, I went and got a kayak. It was 2 days ago. I went and got a kayak randomly, right, over there in Green Lake. And I was like, you know what, let me just take myself out, right? As far as in like out somewhere to where I could just love on myself and have joy on myself and be at peace with myself at the moment, and like just untie a lot of these knots that's going on and break these different things down and just take a moment, right? So I put my phone on D&D. Actually, I might have turned it off. I don't remember. But and I just kind of went out into the water, bro, and I sat with myself for a minute. I sat with myself and dove into my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, right? And there's been a few people throughout the time in these last few years of me being home that were telling me like, bro, you need to like slow down from them, but don't be afraid to pause, don't be afraid to stop, don't be afraid to give yourself a break. But like that grind in me, that dog in me was like, nah, it ain't time to stop. It ain't time to pause, man. Like, you feel me? I don't spend too much time wasting time for me to stop. If I stop, man, that's gonna let people catch up. That's gonna let the evils catch up. It's gonna let the demons catch up. And I was like, I'm moving in God mode right now. I got to keep going and keep moving, right? And what we don't understand is just like going down the freeway, right? Going as fast as you can and without even paying attention to anything going. Like, it's the cones are saying, hey, look, get out this lane, go in this lane, take a moment, pause for a second, and you keep going, right? You're going to end up crashing, you feel me? And I won't say I ended up crashing out, but I ended up getting to a point of like burnout in a way. And what happens when you allow your mind, and then I hate saying just the mind, because the mind is separate from the brain. The brain is the mind in action. What I'm saying is when you allow yourself to burn out, it begets other things that could be detrimental, right? Whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's women, whether it's other things that will pull you down and drag you down the hill a lot faster, right? And so I kind of fell into like this spin zone, right? And it was crazy for me because when things are dragging you down, oftentimes you're not even noticing that it's happening because it's like little tweaks, it's like little pivots that are going on, right? It's like the little rudder on the boat, it's a little here, a little there. You know, you're headed to New York, but the little rudder keeps going that way, and these little incremental pushes over here, and next thing you know, you end up in Puerto Rico somewhere, but you didn't notice it was happening because it was so small. It was so minute that you were like, oh, this ain't bad. This ain't bad. But see, there's a thing, like, it's called the compound effect. These little things compound into big things. And before you know it, you're not directly off your path. Right. And so one of the lessons that I learned, that's why I think I'm gonna spin this too. We're gonna just hit up the different lessons, right? That I pulled from this valley of mine, right? That I was in. One of the lessons I learned is how to put those pauses throughout my day consistently. And at first I thought it could be just a week. First I was gonna be like, it could be every month or twice a month, self-care days. Nah, I need self-care every day, right? And it's important for everybody to understand this. It might sound cliche, it might sound corny, but you got to have that self-care every single day. And I call them pauses. Those are moments where I'm like, you know what? Hold on, bro. Take a moment, feel where you are, understand. It don't even have to be as in like closing your eyes and meditating, whatever you do. But like for me, it's just a moment of joy. That kayaking by myself and being in the water was a moment of joy for me. There's times where I've done hot yoga as a moment of joy for me. I take walks in the park. I might take a walk as a moment of joy for me. But when I do these things, it causes me to stop for a moment and just be and enjoy where I'm at. But it helps me to realize what could be pivoting, because those are moments of reflection as well, right? Because I don't ever want to get back to a point where there's these little things piling up and I don't catch them fast enough and it knocks me off the direction, right? So that's one big lesson I learned in life right now through this time, is to sit back and give yourself those moments daily where you sit back and be like, okay, bet, I like this, I'm feeling this, I'm here. And then taking it even a step further and saying, okay, what direction am I going in? Right? Am I going in the right direction? Am I going, man? It's just remind me. It's something that recently, right? It was a couple weeks ago. I went out. I invited my cuddy over. We had do like a pool party. Me and my guy, LA. Big shout out to LA, man. We do like a pool party. Kids there, homeboys there, homegirls there. It was just enjoying our time, right? And later on, I invited my cuddy over, right? And my cuddy, he don't ever go out. Big shout out to Sean. He don't ever really go out. He pretty much does his thing. He stays at home. Great dad, like one of the people that I love his fatherhood like journey. I love his the way of keeping his money. There's so many things I respect about this man, right? But I invited him over, and it just so happens around that time that he had been going through something himself. And so you have these individuals, they're going through things. We're coming together. There's drinking involved. We're like, man, let's go out. Let's go have some fun. Let's go turn up, whatever the case may be. So we're like, all right, bet, let's go. We go turn up, everything. Situations occur. Well, almost situations occur where it could have went bad, like going back to the past bad, right? And at the moment, we didn't notice that was going on. The next day, he called me, like throughout, it was the middle of the day. He called me and was like, hey, Cuddy, can I talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, what's up, bro? It's good. He said, man, yeah. And he's like, I don't want you to take this as disrespect. He was like, and I'm not blaming you for my decisions yesterday or that night or whatnot. But he told me, he said, hey, Cuddy, like, that's not my lane, bro. I don't like going to those type of places. I don't like being around that type of energy. I don't feel comfortable because I could put myself in position to lose everything. There were so many decisions that were made that night that I could potentially lose everything that I worked so hard to come for. And he said, I'm not going to judge you in the direction you decide to go on, the choices you decide to make in your decisions right now. He was like, but I would advise you to take a pause and look at the events from yesterday or where we were and look at where you're trying to go and see if those things align. Because they don't align with me. But I know you and I had conversations about where we're trying to go and how hard it was for us to get here. So just take a moment at that, bro, and make your decision moving forward. But I want you to understand that. And I want you to see that. And it wouldn't be right, me as family or as a friend or whatever, to not tell you that. And I'm going to be honest, at first I was a little convicted. I was like, man, I kind of hurt a little bit, because there's been times way in the past before I went to the joint, all this other stuff that Cuddy had talked to me and I didn't listen and I made the wrong decision and he went out and made the right decision and I ended up in BS because of it. you know? And so it kind of hurt a little bit. I'm like, man, am I really going back down that direction, that path? But when I sat back and I told him, like, bro, I appreciate that, because sometimes it takes somebody from outside your circle, your small perspective, right? Your current perspective, to tell you what's going on with your life. Again, sometimes it takes somebody from outside to tell you what's going on with your life and to convict you, right? What it say in the Bible, it's like it's better the stings of a friend than the kisses of an enemy. It's better for your somebody that is your person to tell you something that hurts your feelings, that causes you to look back at yourself, that causes you to look inside, right? And sting you a bit, than it is for people that are around you just saying, go, 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 and knowingly or unknowingly pushing you down the wrong way. And so when my guy said this, man, I really sat back and was like, damn, bro, Devontae, like, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Where are you really trying to go? All right, I want this, man. I want to be making this amount of much. I want to make this amount a year. I want to have this kind of success. I want this for my kids. I want this for my kids. I want the business to be right here. I want this business to be there. I want that to be. And I'm like, okay, all right, Ben. I want these type of people in my life. All right, now let me pair this to where I was at or what I've been doing in the lanes that I've been in. It didn't add up. It didn't match up. And so from that, I convicted myself again. And I'm like, this shit don't add up, bro. Because you can't say that you want one thing and do these other, let me take that. You can say that you want these things and do other things, but it's not going to get the results that you want. It can't. The math won't be able to math, right? It doesn't make sense. Right? You can't get some top ramen soup packets and put it in water talking about you was planning to make gumbo. It don't make sense, bro. You got to get the ingredients for the gumbo. That's what it is. And put the ingredients in and whip it like you're supposed to whip gumbo. You feel what I'm saying? And so when I sat back and thought about that, I started putting things in place in my life. Don't get me wrong, it didn't change immediately. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It wasn't immediate like turnaround. It was like small pivots back. Right? Because it was small pivots that compounded to lead me astray. And I had to make the small pivots back to get me back in alignment. And I was just so happy to have somebody there to tell me to do that. And that's the thing, man. A big thing I want to put alignment. Look for the alignment. If you want to check in to see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in your life, if you're where you're supposed to be at in your life, look for the alignment. That's really all you have to do is be like, all right, well, where am I trying to go and where am I headed right now? And do those things align? If one's going this way and what you're doing is going that way, then you know they don't align. And so there's no point of doing this. There's a quote I posted on my Instagram, and it said, just figure out the life that you decide on, the life that you want, and don't do anything that doesn't align with it. Again, decide on the life that you want and don't do anything that doesn't align with it. And it be so simple. It be so simple, right? If you want a sober, productive life, don't go to a club and drink alcohol, right? If you want to be married and in a faithful relationship, don't be sleazing off with multiple partners. If you want to have financial abundance, have big bags and in the bank and investments and all these different things, don't go out there splurging with your money all crazy. It's that simple, but like, we have all these different things that come into our life and are able to influence and push us in a different way. Like I said, in those small pivotal moments. And it's crazy because if you're not consistently diligent and paying attention on a day-to-day basis on your direction, you will end up drifting off. It will. And the thing about the devil, whoever, the evils, the wherever the negativity, whatever you want to call it, is like every time you figure out one trick, another one comes. Every time you figure out one, you be like, oh, I got it figured out. I ain't going to slip to that no more, right? I ain't going to do that. I got a partner I was telling about that. But, man, my partner was like, bro, listen, man, I don't even drink no more. I don't woo. I don't be going out with all these females no more, man. I be focused on this. He's like, but the next thing I know, bro, one of my coworkers came and said something to me, and I snapped, bro, and I got into the fisticuffs with it, and now I spiraled in this. I'm like, bro, listen, you gotta be diligent in that thinking process, that thought process. It's good that you caught it, because what that turns into is this happened. So now I'm getting mad at myself. Now I'm putting myself down. Now I'm down on myself. So then it doesn't matter if I go walk outside and grab a drink. Now I'm having a drink. And now it doesn't even matter if I go out to the club tonight because I need to pop it. Oh, now it doesn't even matter if little shorty's on me. So I'm going to bring her back to the house and I'm going to do this with her. Then now I'm feeling bad because I just did 4-5 different things that I said I wasn't even cool with. And now I'm like, damn, I might as well keep going because shit, I've already done it. Now I'm messed up because we haven't built a habit long enough in order for it to be a permanent part of our brain. You feel me? And it's that easy to slip. It's that easy, bro. It's that easy, man. And this is something that I've been learning. This is something that I've been learning, right? I started realizing, I'm like, bro, hold on. How is every day turned to a party day now? Who have I been around? What's going on, man? Somebody put this quote, man. I want to shout out who told me about it. It was a homegirl at the bar, one of the bartenders, randomly, right? And we always have like dope, like real spiritual, deeper conversations, you know. And we was talking about, you know, she had struggled for a minute and went back to drinking. I was telling her like I was drinking way too much at this time and what I was going through and how things need to get back in alignment, blah, blah, blah. But she said, Eric Thomas had said it. She had shared this quote with me and was like, man, Eric Thomas said, those people aren't your friends. Y'all just share the same routine. He said, those people aren't your friends. Y'all just share the same routine. And when you look at like, and this ain't to have you go get on your people, your partners or whatnot. But I want you to really take a look at like who you're around on a consistent basis, man. And say, okay, like if I remove this main thing from it right now, will we still be cool? A lot of the homies, like when you got the gang shit going on, you know, it's gang, but if you remove the gang, what else is there? Is there anything else to talk about? Is there anything else to move about? You know what I mean? Like if you remove the drug part about it, like, is there anything else to talk about? If you remove the club from it, is there anything else to talk about? The females, the dudes, whatever the case may be, is there anything else to talk about? What else is there? Right? So like we have to be careful with that kind of stuff. Is being like, you know, what are we building this relationship on? And that's what I respected. Going back to what my Cuddy had told me, that's what I respected. Because he said, look, he said, look, man, what you're doing or what you were doing is not aligned with what I'm doing, where I want to go, where I want to be at. And he laid that out clear. And what that did is like, if I did want to continue going down that route, I know for a fact not to come to him about it. I know what his answer is going to be because he set that straight right there. And not to pivot too far away from where we're going. Like I said, it's going to be like a general conversation. It's like we have to set those standards right away, put those boundaries up right away. Like, hey, look, this is what I'm on. This is where I'm going. These are my goals, my vision. And I'm going to keep it 100. If it's not that, I can't be a part of it. Right? And I don't mean like your first time kicking it with somebody. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you da-da-da. But it's good to work it in around first couple times so you guys know what type of time you're on. You know what I mean? That's for any type of relationship, whether it's a sexual intimate relationship, whatever the case, or just a friendship. Family shit. Sometimes you got to tell family, look, bro, like, we're going different ways. And that's fine. I can't allow myself to go that way no more, man. And we get boggled down by current circumstances and feel as if we can't change them. We get boggled down by these current circumstances and feel as if we can't change them. And I realize it's just small incremental steps right now that if you compound them enough, just like it works for the bad, it works for the good. You can really change. You can start right now today doing one thing different, whether it's reading a couple pages out of a book that are like self-help, going somewhere, or taking a class, right? You can start right now. And in a year from now, be in a total different environment, doing something totally different, right? But we see things, we see the result, and we see the result as so far away that we don't want to compartmentalize what it is that needs to happen in the beginning and the middle for us to be able to take it there. We don't want to do that, right? And it's like a condition. You know, it's like a condition. It's always going to be harder. It's always going to look harder when you're looking all the way down there. When you see, and I'm not saying like, because all the way down there is the vision. Have your vision, because if you don't got a vision, you really don't got nothing. I don't even listen to somebody. I don't even take nobody seriously if they don't have a vision and goals matching with it, right? That's even to get me like to turn my ear to you. You know what I mean? I don't know, like shit like that, but like, yeah, or something like that. Like, bro, look, if you don't have something that you see for yourself down for the future, right? And just that, forget it. Because some of us haven't put the goals. Sometimes we need somebody to help us put the goals. But if you don't just have that, like something there's no point in really popping with you because you don't even know where you're going, bro. That means you're gonna run into you're gonna be swerving in the lanes, bro. I'm going this way. You're gonna swerve on my lane. You might hit my lane and cause me to crash somewhere. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's important to understand that and understand the trajectory and these little things that are happening. They'll cause you to go the other way around, right? And that's why it's important to have that thing, that vision. But what I'm saying is, you wanna be able to see that far, right? But be able to dial it back to where you are right now and take little bite sizes of it, like little small bite-sized bites, right? But that's that one thing you said, how you eat an elephant, man, bite by bite. You feel me? As you keep going, as you know, you done ate that whole thing. But we can't be so worried about all the way down there to where we scare ourselves out of doing what we got to do right now, man. I was talking to like some of my young people. I teach the branding and life skills and the juveniles now, right? And the juvenile over there in Alder. And one thing I was telling one of my young bro, he's known as being turned up, and he's done a lot, and put himself in different positions, right? To where I can tell at times he doesn't feel like there's nothing new for him. There's nothing else for him, right? And I'm talking to him. I'm like, bro, listen, man, you're looking at a living result of change. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, and I still make mistakes, and I've had to recreate myself multiple times since I've been out. But I'm like, you're looking at a direct result of change, and at 16 years old, you got so much time. And I'm telling this young man, I'm like, I'm 31. That's 15 years, bro. You'll be home way before that. And if you start those little movements right now to go where you need to get to, bro, by the time you're 31, you could be a millionaire living life with a beautiful family somewhere out there in Costa Rica doing your thing. Because your biggest asset is time right now. But we got to double back and focus on how do we get to that point. That's one thing I'm building with the young people tomorrow. We're about to go in and start building out our vision and our goals so we can get to our vision boards. I'm going to have the young folks and the juvenile build out the vision boards because I think that's an important thing to have, to be able to look at so you can grasp your reality and where you are, right? So that's one big thing, man. I learned how to like put these little things in my life, like of joy and of moments of reflection, to where I'm able to be like, okay, bro, you're tripping, like, you know what I mean? Or you're doing well, you're on the path, and it's making me happy at those times to conduct my mental health, right? And it's been working, man. It's been working for me. Another crazy thing I went and did is I got enrolled into college, man. One big thing for me is I was a special ed student, super behaviorally challenged, bro. They thought I had ADHD, alcoholic syndrome, PTSD, every DDD, whatever the case you can think of. They thought I had. I never stayed in school without getting suspended since kindergarten. I've been expelled from everywhere, kicked out of multiple districts. I became uninvolved and uninterested in school by the time I was in 8th grade, from an alternative school. And so one huge regret that I had was not going and finishing school, not taking school as seriously. And I go into these high schools, I go into these middle schools, I go into these elementary schools to read books, I go into these juvenile schools, I go into these alternative schools. I'm talking to my young people, and I'm like, bro, take this shit seriously. I don't care about the paper, but it's about getting something done and taking that, letting that get you to the next level, because you got to get that through the door. But I never went and did it, right? And it was something that always bothered me. It was something that always like ate at my soul. You feel what I'm saying? And I kept making excuses. I'm like, you know what, man? When I get the business together, I'll go back. All right, when I hire enough people, I'll go back. When I put this in, and every time there was something new, until the point I had to sit back and be like, there's never gonna be a right time, bro. There's never gonna be a right time. So from that, I was like, you know what? Forget it, bro. We're going to just put it in right now. Let's go put the application in, see if we can get to this bachelor's program and shoot the shot and see if it works. Because anytime I feel like something is bothering me, then I need to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll look at the comments right there. Yeah, I'll stay about you, bro. One chapter left in that book you ain't bro. Oh, what's up, Toddy? What's up? Okay, you got one chapter left in that book. Which one was it? Was it the 5? Was it the 5 hour? I think it was the 5. I think it was the 5 a.m. club. I think that was the 5 a.m. club, man. And Toddy been putting in work, bro. A big shout out to Toddy, bro. Toddy, big inspiration to me as well, bro, because you've been sticking to your script. Toddy, you've been sticking to your script, man. Big inspiration to me as well. Big stuff, man. Keep staying on your path. So, like, what I was saying is, like, me getting back, I got my official acceptance letter into the bachelor's degree program yesterday. And it was like, oh shit, this is real, you know. But I one thing I like to do is, if it's uncomfortable in my soul and it's something I really want to do, I'm working on changing it. Right? I'm gonna go address that, especially if it's something that could be positive, like take me to another level. So I'm like, I'm gonna get myself uncomfortable and go back to school. Which is actually gonna force me to change all kind of habits, because you can't be turned up all day here and then go here and perform the best in school, because I want to go for 4.0 the whole way. Right. And my goal after I get this bachelor's degree is I want to go and get accepted into either the UW or Seattle U and go after my PhD, because I want to be Dr. Devontae Parson. That's my major, big, crazy goal. And it's because I want to come back for everything I missed out on. Right. But put that to where I'm going and inspire others. Right. I want to be the one to be like, listen to my kids. Hey, look, listen, I got a PhD. Go for it. You feel what I'm saying? Tell my young people, young folks, are my homeboys in prison. My homeboys come up in the juvenile. I was telling them the other day, I said, bro, I'm finna go for this. They're like, dog, you really got back in college? I said, yeah, bro. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it, fam. And that's what it's about, right? Putting yourself in these positions that are extremely uncomfortable to help you grow, to help you evolve. You're going to stay stagnant as long as you remain comfortable. Me and Bro Elrock was just talking about this. You know what I mean? Like, how do we find little tweaks throughout everything that we're doing to improve it? That's what it is. If we're talking about improving, it's only about finding little tweaks, like, and pulling things out and adding things in and adjusting little things to find these tweaks to get you to where you need to get to. That's all improvement is. That's all evolving is finding those little tweaks. So you have to consistently analyze where things are going and analyze where you want to take them to, and keep pairing to that vision and seeing how much is growing or what you're cutting out of it, and make those tweaks. And that's what the big thing with going back to school for me was. It was like, you know what? This is a tweak. It's a big tweak, you know what I mean? But it's a tweak in my productivity. Right now, of course, there's more things that come with it, like, adding the papers to you at zeros based on the direction I'm going, right? And I'm not one of those ones to just push school to everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not going to front with you. Some people have personal conversations with me on my opinion of school and how it goes, right? I look at college as, if you're not going for like a high paying career like doctor, engineer, nurse, lawyer, stuff like that, I don't really see much more point other than the network, right? My thing is, I want to take it and be an inspiration for people that might be looking towards me for that. But also, bro, that adds the books, it adds more credibility to my books. It adds more credibility to my business. I can start a whole nother business off that. It's all kind of stuff to go with that, bro. And that might reveal those plans later down the road. But that's what I'm seeing school for. But I think that if you have a plan with it and you utilize it the right way, take advantage of it, bro. Take advantage of it, especially those of us who come from nothing, bro, who didn't come up with a lot of assistance. There's all kind of stuff to help us in there. You feel what I'm saying? But I know I kind of trod off with that, bro. We know, like I said, it's going to be a good general conversation. So school is another big thing, man. Like, that was a big thing pushing me to get out of this valley that I was in, this darkness that I was in, and help me go. There's another thing, man. I've been reading this book, and big shout out to Rashad Norris, man. Big bro is out. He's been out here doing work for a minute, man. We still have yet to get to meet in person. We've been hearing about each other and people want to connect us. We are connected, guys. We're texting, we're calling, but we're putting it together where we can meet in person, man. But he said, bro, this is a book, and I hate that. I never can remember this, but it's called Breaking the Habit of You. I think how to lose your mind and create a new one. I might have butchered it. If you know it, put it in the comments. If you know it, put it in the comments. You feel me? But the beautiful thing about that book and what it's done for me, bro, is it talks about matter and energy right? In like the practical ways of like what we call it manifestation, you know. And if you know what manifestation is being able to bring something, produce a reality, or bring something into fruition, right? And some people, you look at manifestation as just thinking positive thoughts, saying positive things, and looking at it. That's a big piece, but you also do have to make some steps towards it, and the steps will actually be made once you create that environment of mind. But it's a beautiful thing to show me about the environment of mind, right? So reading that book, it had me change in a lot of the ways, just the ways that I think, the way that I move, the way the environment I create around my home, the environment I create around my mind. And like I said, the brain is the mind in action. And one thing he was talking about is like when you put a vision, when you have a vision, right, of what you want to do, you have to match it with feeling, right? You have to match your thought with feeling in order for you to get it to put that out into the universe, because the thought is like electricity is sending out, and then your feelings are what's pulling it back in. So you create this like electromagnetic field around you of whatever you create. And the thing about it is it works the opposite way too. And one thing that was talking about is how a lot of us end up living our past over and over again, is because our physical environment has a lot to do with our mental environment. And it all starts inside, right? It all is created inside. So when you're out, say you the way I took it, right, is growing up in the projects I grew up in, there was a lot of violence, right? And so eventually I took on to this violence, and my thought process came to like react in a violent way no matter what happens. And so even when I was taken up out of that environment and placed in another environment where it wasn't as violent, as soon as something similar triggered me, I react in the same way. And next thing I know, as I kept doing that, it recreated that same result in those environments where I was at now, even though it wasn't like the original one I came from. But that's because my past had already developed in my brain. It was triggering for me. And so the thoughts I was putting, the feelings I was putting in, I was just taking somewhere else with me. So in order for us to change anything, we have to change the way we're thinking and the way we're feeling about things. So we have to, and I told my young folks this, I said, you have to think greater than your current circumstances and feel stronger than your current feelings. And then you create a better self and a better environment than you're currently in. And it actually happens like that. You start stepping that way. Right. And I didn't understand that and know that until I look back at when I was in prison. I'm like, I remember I always talk about this all the time. I remember I used to sit there at night and think about where I wanted the vision. I feel it to my soul, to my core. And I wake up in the morning and sit there for 10 minutes and do the same thing. So I put the thought and I put the feeling in it. And although I was in the prison or in the cell, I was thinking way past it. And so it wasn't hard for me to create that different environment. I lived a totally different prison experience than a lot of other people. You know what I mean? And I was able to transition that out to the free world because I already created that environment. I remember when I was in there, one of the young dudes was like, bro, you always walking around smiling, bro. I never seen you frown. Like, you feel me? And I was like, damn, I didn't even realize that. But I'm realizing I was living out here already. I was living in my future. I was living in my vision. I was living where I wanted to go, right? I was being who I wanted to be mentally. And I was able to, so I'm smiling because in that vision, I'm smiling, right? And this book is I'm still reading it. It's literally giving me the practicality of what I was doing. But the beautiful thing about it is it's actually showing me and telling me. So now I'm able to consistently reproduce those results. I'm able to be like, okay, I can do it intentionally now. It's not just like I feel this, or I'm intuitively thinking to do this. It's like, oh, I know how to step by step put this in play together to create the next level of life that I want to live. And it's been a beautiful thing for me, man. And it's been one of the best, hands down, so far, one of the best books I've read, man. One of the most effective books that I've read. And it's been something that has been helping me really come out of this valley, because now I'm like, all right, when I wake up in the morning, I'm meditating on the good things I want, like I was doing it before. But I'm even doing things like some of you guys probably see me post up when I have my daughter. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll put some like Afro beats on or some good music going and dancing. I'll get to dancing. You know what I mean? And when she wakes up, I make sure she see me smiling, and then she'll wake up dancing. And then next you know, we're just dancing no matter what's going on. And we create that environment of joy, of love, of care, of space in that. And now, as we move into the world, when she goes to daycare and I move into the real world, I have that environment around me, and I'm consistently putting those things inside of me, right? to make sure that I continue to do that. And that's the thing about change. And and I want to break this down to you, because I know there's a couple people that were asking me, like, how do you transition your mindset? How do you build that type of mindset of abundance or of success and whatnot? I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna break it in simplest terms for you, man. Now, some of you may have heard me say this in the past. When I wanted to switch my way of thinking, well, I want to switch my life. Forgive me. I realized I had to switch my way of thinking, right? And so I realized I had to challenge my thought, because I had to put my thoughts on trial all of the time. I had to put my whole entire belief system on trial all of the time. Meaning, is this okay? Is it not? Why is it not okay? Why would it not be okay? Why did I think it was okay? Where did this original thought even come from? Who did I sign on? And I'm like literally breaking these different things down, right? And then when I looked at it, I visually, I'm a visual person. I see my mind as a bucket of poison, right? And so imagine if you have a bucket of poison right here, right? I put it right here, wherever you guys can see. I put a bucket of poison, it's filled with poison, toxic as shit. And I have a water hose, pure water, the purest water you could think of, glacier water shit. And I turn it on and I stuff it into that poison, right? And I leave that shit on. No matter how long it takes, a day, 2 days, hour, 4 hours, whatever the case may be. If you leave that pure water on for long enough inside that bucket, eventually you're going to go back to that bucket. It's going to be filled with nothing but pure water, right? And all the toxic and the spoils will be around the floor. But eventually you keep leaving it in there. Eventually the pure water will wash all that toxic shit away too from around it. And so when I looked at it this way, I realized, hold on, I have to figure out what's that pure water. And that pure water, for anybody that you guys want to change or shift your mindset, that pure water are these books. It's these YouTubes, it's these podcasts, it's the people, it's the music. It's when I get up, like I said, I put Afro beats on, I dance, I read a book. So look, already two things. The dancing and music is creating an environment of joy for me. The studying and the reading is creating knowledge, giving me knowledge to build on and build out wisdom, right? And then when I hit the gym, I'm physically out there, I'm working on it, I'm thinking, I'm listening to whatever's pumping me up. That might be the only time you catch me listening to like turned up stuff in that time. But even when I'm working out and I'm getting that pump from it, I'm thinking, I'm seeing, I'm visualizing, where do I want to go? How do I want to do? What's the body type I want to have? How do I want to feel? I leave there, I hop in my car, I put a podcast on, I'm listening to a podcast, right? I get to a meeting, I'm talking to these people, I have a conversation with individuals that are where I want to be at. I might tap in with a mentor, But you see, my days consisted of those different things, building out my mindset, right? And now here, but I wouldn't be right to give you that if I didn't give you this too, bro. Here's the catcher though, right? It has to be consistent every day. Where I was falling off and messing up is I'll get to like Saturday or something and be like, you know what, bro, let me put on some of this ESTG real quick, and you know what I mean, and I'll read a little bit of books just to make myself feel good, and then let me just slide over here and grab this little bottle. Let me take a couple, shots of that. I mean, nobody really know. I mean, I'm still, I do this 5-6 days a week, so yeah, let me slide to this little spot tonight, man, and turn up with my guys real quick. Let me go put myself in these different places and positions that I know I should even really be at. You get what I'm saying? And let me And so then now the next day I might be hungover. I'm like, oh, I don't feel good. My energy's lower. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be doing this and this and this. And I'm like, I don't even feel like doing this. Let me cancel. Let me put this there. And then the next day it's spilling to that because now I'm feeling bad because of that. So I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, it just kind of like builds on each other. You feel what I'm saying? So breaking that down with the mindset thing is consistently putting that pure water from the books, the podcasts, the YouTubes, the people around you, the environments you're in. You got to be on it every day. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have fun. Don't get me wrong. You can have fun. You can enjoy yourself, but you got to moderate that, bro. And you got to know when you're ready to do that, because some of us ain't even ready to do that. Some of us, we want to build. We want to change our mindset and be like, we're doing good. We're doing good for 2 days. And then we go out that weekend. You ain't been doing it long enough. You haven't set that new synapses. I hope that's the word I say in your brain, right, man? And that's not what I liked about that book. Is talking about like the brain function. Like one thing I learned about me is I be nerding out, bro. I love some like studies on like the brain and how it functions and how thoughts work and quantum physics and shit like that, right? And it's talking about the brain and how you literally over time right? These habits and everything is created because of what you've consistently been through, and you literally have these brain waves, these connections in your brain that make it turn like long term permanent, because they put them in those long term slots. Like if you see the Inside Out, they put them in there, and you have these set habits about you. Right. And then some of them, especially the ones that are negative, they release like dopamine, and it becomes like a high. And then you become numb to it, to where it's like so regular that you just want that high until you can find something more like extreme. And then you create another brain wave, and it strengthens that. And it's crazy, right? And so what you have to do to undo that is you have to do other things to make yourself uncomfortable, to create new brain waves to replace those. And that's why this mindset change it's not hard, but it's tedious, but it's worth it, right? And so I wouldn't advise just starting this out and automatically still going into what you were doing. You know what I mean? I'd advise like just going all the way in, but have grace on yourself for if you stumble. Definitely have grace on yourself, because you will. You feel what I'm saying? You will mess up. Have grace on yourself when you do, but stay on that for a while. Create those new brain waves, those new brain functions in your head, right? And then you could probably be like, okay, you know what? Let me go out for a drink, or let me go out for a smoke, or let me go whatever your thing is, as long as it's not too crazy to stop your whole life. You feel what I'm saying? But so that's one big thing this book has been really teaching me, man, is just how to like create the new environment of mind, create a new environment of self, and where I'm at, and the place I want to go, and the people I want to be with, you know. Another thing that it hit me, the other day I was at a meeting, you know, it's a blessed, it was a blessed contract we were able to get, man. It's I really feel like it's going to take a lot of things to the next level, and for us and them, and it could be a international thing, a national thing, man. And I'm sitting there and we're talking to the individuals that are involved. These are like some big individuals, right? Me and the team are in there, and they're like, you know, they're talking about different great things Pro Se has done, my the nonprofit has done, and great things like about my story and where I've come from, and how, you know, and things they hear, and I'm like, dang. And they're like, man, this might turn into some different opportunities, you know, potentially around the world type stuff, and we can really do some big things. And I was like sitting there thinking like of places I've been and people I've been with, and thinking like, could that life, like, could that match up with this? Like, if I had a movie playing right here as we're moving during this, like, would that be something I'd be proud of? Like, would it be something? And don't get me, there's not no two extremes or no crazy stuff, right? But even just the smaller stuff, like, would it match up? Like, would this be something I'd be comfortable putting on a screen in front of everybody and watching with them? And I'm like, nah, bro. And then like one thing about me is I want to be big on that. It's like, man, you know, if we're saying we stand on this, like, let's stand on it. And it really gave me a humility check, bro. It was like, dog, listen, if you're not ready to put it on the screen, bro, you feel what I'm saying? Don't be moving in it. You feel what I'm saying? And so it showed me something about myself. And I want to tell people that, like, whatever you're doing, if you're not willing to put that on the screen in front of people that could put you in position, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even do it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even be doing it, you know? Now, let's hold this. There's certain things that, like, of course, you might do in your private time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, that your business ain't for everybody. You feel me? Like, your business ain't for everybody. But what I do mean is, like, when it's, like, extreme, like, different stuff, like, if I'm going around, would I be comfortable putting on the screen and I'm around these individuals? You know what I mean? You feel me? Am I cool with that? Like, could I bring these guys? Can I bring these people, these girls, or whatever, in the room with me? And can we pop it like this? And if it can't work, I wouldn't even do it, bro. Because you're lying to yourself first and foremost, man. And then you lying to them, and now you're lying to them. That's three different people you lying to, and you're the most important. So that's a big thing that it showed me, man. It really took me down. It brought me back. It brought me back down to earth. You know what I mean? And realizing that, you know, it's paired up with the book, paired up with the lesson I've learned from just being in these valleys, bro. I'm back to a point where I'm like, all right, bro, it's time to snatch yourself back up and out of this matrix, bro. And just to add this little story before we start to end, man, I was talking to a homegirl about this, and I'm like, man, you know, this might sound kind of judgy. I was talking to a homegirl about this, and I'm like, man, look, I was like, I used to get on her head about it. I'm like, bro, you like live in this like matrix, bro. Like you don't even like it's not even real. You feel what I'm saying? It's like this fantasy world, and you got like these people around you that like push this fantasy for you. And it's like you just living in this thing. And I got a partner that's like kind of lives in the same thing. And I'm looking at it and I can see it, you know, but they can't necessarily see it. And then I was sitting there one day and I'm like, hold up, bro. I'm the worst of them all because I go in all of them. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm in here, then I hop out and I go here and I hop out, then I try to step back and be over here, but I already did so much energy shifting and being here and here that I'm bringing energy with me that's all mixed up and I can't even perform in my own world, my own universe, you know? And it was a moment where I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. You feel me? And this is what I need to stop doing. You know, and this is where I need to go. Like you are the controller of your universe, and the people you let in and the universe you decide to enter into is all on you. Everything in your life, every person in your life, everything that's happened to you is all a reflection of the frequency you're vibing in. Your thoughts that you're having, bro. And if I don't leave you guys with nothing, I want you to think of that. Like if you look around your life and you're not happy where you are, dive back to the thoughts. Bro, dive back to how you've been moving. It starts in your thoughts. And you'll realize, if you're honest with yourself, no matter what, you've created that in some kind of way, shape, or form. And when you're able to do that, you're able to point and piece out little things that led you to that you can turn and shift and change and get you to the next level. And so today, man, that's what I really, really, really wanted to dive home, you know, and you guys hold me accountable. All you guys hold me accountable because this next person I'm building and this next person I'm shifting to, it's going to be different. You know, there's decisions, choices I made in my life that I still have to live with, you know, of course. However, as I keep building out, it's going to be a whole different level to where we're going to vibe somewhere. And I encourage anybody that's on that path, rock with me, and I'm rocking with you. But don't let none of these valleys think you got to stay in that valley and deep down in there and even dig deeper, bro. You can come up out that joint. You just got to find the little things that you need to tweak. You can get to that, man. You can have that second chance success. Much love, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay focused and be prolific. Let's go.